On the 4th of August 2025, China test flew its third sixth-generation fighter jet, seemingly out of nowhere. Honestly, the whole world is going crazy. The West is despairing. You already have the J-36 and J-50. Why do you need a third? What other crazy technologies are there? How many more cards does China have up its sleeve? This new aircraft caught the Americans completely off guard. Frankly, no one saw it coming. China is constantly launching various sixth-generation fighter jets, while the United States is stuck in repetitive PowerPoint presentations. Just in terms of presentation, the East has already left Uncle Sam in the dust. So why has China launched 3D sixth-generation fighter jets in just over 6 months? And the pace is accelerating. In reality, this wasn't some bragging act. The first photo was actually leaked by the US military website, The War Zone. While every tech geek and military enthusiast was paying attention to it, the key point was that this was a completely official leak from a major Eastern power. China wanted everyone to see this treasure. It was essentially China saying, look at these. See if I have enough knives, and if they're sharp enough. So what is causing the East to stop keeping secrets? What is causing the East to continue unveiling its arsenal, which has left the West in despair? Because the entire international game has changed. President Trump, the world's common friend, has been pushing a global political approach where might makes right. This essentially boils down to, whoever holds the biggest stick gets to call the shots. In such a world, China's continued low profile and humility is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Only by unveiling its sixth-generation fighter jets, they're essentially saying hello to everyone. We have formidable firepower, so perhaps you'd better think twice before trying to play us, including at the negotiating table. But wait, there is more. China already has 2 of the world's only sixth-generation fighter jets. So what is with the third one? It turns out each one has its own specialized job, a bit like using different tools for different missions. This is where things get really interesting. Neither Chengdu Aircraft's J-36 nor Shenyang Aircraft's J-50 are actually specifically designed to land on an aircraft carrier. However, this third mysterious fighter looks somewhat similar to the carrier-based fighter jet unveiled by Northwestern Polytechnical University not long ago. This is why netizens are calling it a sixth-generation fighter jet prepared for the West. It would perfectly complement the other 2 sixth-generation fighters. For a long time, Shenyang Aircraft has essentially had a monopoly on carrier-based fighter jets. They built the J-15 and J-35, and they're working on a carrier-based version of the J-50. However, only one company is doing this work. Like a town with only one pizza shop, things eventually become less exciting. Without competition to keep everyone sharp this time, it seems the Chengdu Aircraft has taken the lead, as this third sixth-generation fighter is reportedly a competitor to the northern J-50 carrier-based fighter. This essentially creates a healthy, friendly competition between the aviation industries of the North and South. Think about it. Dalian Shipyard and Jiangyan Shipyard in the Eastern Power are both building aircraft carriers, trying to outdo each other. This competition constantly drives technological advancement. Now, Shenyang and Chengdu are doing the same with advanced fighters. One is focused on air superiority, the other on multi-role carrier operations. They push each other to seek progress. Interestingly, this strategy comes straight from the US playbook, or rather, from the lessons of US failure. Historically, Lockheed Martin controlled the F-22 and F-35 programs, while Boeing's sixth-generation program simply couldn't keep up. By the time Boeing realized they were behind, it was too late. China has surely learned from their mess. They won't make the same mistake. So what makes this third new fighter so special? As we can see, it is like someone threw the J-36 and J-50 into a blender. The nose and fuselage are virtually identical to the J-36, but instead of a third engine, it uses a more flexible twin-engine setup. The wing and shape layout also seem to be copied from the J-50, using the same lambda wing design. This design allows it to achieve the best possible combination of speed and maneuverability. But the coolest thing about this thing is that it has variable sweep wings, meaning the wings can change angle when it is parked. When resting on the carrier deck, the wings fold back to save space. But once airborne, they can be extended for greater range. It is like a Swiss Army knife, built for life on an aircraft carrier. The entire design embodies sharpness and stealth beneath the Lambda wings. The engine nozzles are completely hidden, and the traditional vertical tail is completely foregone. These features virtually eliminate radar signatures, making it absolutely not a fifth-generation fighter. This is pure sixth-generation fighter territory. Furthermore, its use of a belly-mounted air intake and widely spaced twin engines gives it significant endurance and ample internal weapon space. Now, what exactly can this fighter do? Well, look, first of all, it can do double duty as a fighter. Bomber, the current J-35 and J-50, are absolute beasts in air combat. They're like the Navy SEALs of the sky, perfect for stealth missions and gaining air superiority. But they also have weaknesses. They can't carry much external firepower, so when it comes to heavy lift missions like bombing or destroying aircraft carriers, their capabilities are limited. Before, China's Fujian aircraft carrier had to rely on bomb-laden J-15s for repetitive bombing runs. That is where this new sixth-generation fighter comes in, and that is to save the world. It keeps all the stealth features, but adds a longer range and a larger weapons bay, so you can load air-to-air missiles for dogfights, anti-ship missiles for naval battles, and precision-guided bombs for attacking ground targets. China is like a master video game designer. The J-50 kicks down the door, clears the airspace, and then this new guy circles in from behind and takes care of everything. This combination will it is superior to the current J-35 and J-15T combination. However, this fighter has another potential role. It could serve as a loyal wingman and a stealthy flying ammunition depot. Modern air combat is no longer a Top Gun dogfight. Everything depends on who can launch missiles from the longest range. China has the PL-15, which has a range of at least 200 kilometers. The PL-17 can strike targets 500 kilometers away. And the latest and most promising PL-21 is said to be able to hit targets 1,000 kilometers away. The problem is that the current J-20's internal ammunition bays might not accommodate these large missiles. This new sixth-generation fighter completely solves this problem. It is larger, boasts a large internal volume, and maintains full stealth. Imagine a human-piloted fighter like the J-20 and J-36, commanding from behind, while this stealthy super unmanned wingman leads the charge. Capable of both reconnaissance and attack with a massive payload, the pilot remains completely safe, while the robot fighter does all the dangerous work. You get the best of both worlds. What is truly exciting about all this is that the Chengdu fighter has officially entered the carrier. Based fighter arena. The Shenyang fighter once completely dominated this arena, but now Chengdu is demonstrating its capabilities. China is building a dual-strength development system. Do you understand what this means? This means that China has accomplished something that even the United States and the Soviet Union had never achieved during their heyday. Previously, the military aviation field was dominated by Sukhoi, MiG Lockheed Martin, and Boeing. Now, China's Shenyang aircraft and Chengdu aircraft have pushed human aviation technology into uncharted territory. Crucially, the 3 sixth-generation fighter jets we've seen so far may just be the tip of the iceberg. According to rumors, the Northwestern Polytechnical University and Chengdu aircraft teams have actually developed 8 different sixth-generation fighter concepts, and there may be even more unbeknownst test flights underway in secret. This cross-concurrency and multi-dimensional benign design gives China a significant advantage in the sixth-generation fighter competition, putting it far ahead of the competition.